So I have a theory on drone ownership. And that theory is, if you've bought one drone, you've more than likely bought another. Why? Because let's face it, we've all lost or crashed our first drone, right? Oh, it's cold in here. So everybody seems to be able to do this. It looks impossible to me, but I don't know. We'll see if it works. So you get your scrunch it up and maybe it's a special jumper or something that they use. You've got to do it, right? You've got to do it. It does look good. Okay, let's get to it. A couple of months ago, this happened. Lost my drone. Ended up flying it. It's a Mavic Mini, as everyone's got for Christmas. And thought I'll take it to the forest. And the wind was just, it doesn't seem that bad on the ground. When you get up, it was pretty bad. Anyway, I have to take that one on the chin. Yeah, okay, so I'm that guy. And I know that most people watching this have been that guy as well. Anyway, so what happened? Well, like many of you, I had my head turned by the DJI Mavic Mini last Christmas. And to be honest, I've been buying everyone's Christmas present. I was quite organised. And yeah, I was feeling pretty pleased with myself, so I decided to treat myself. We all need something to play with on Christmas Day, right? And yeah, fell for the Mavic Mini. Partially as well, I just thought, you know, it's going to be a fun drone. It's 249 grams, so I don't have to register or anything. But it's small enough to kind of put in a bag and take anywhere. So I'm on this great place, about 20 minutes drive from me. Fantastic forest on the side of a hill, amazing views. It goes up over the top of the hills. There's a switchback road as well. And yeah, over the top of the hill it's the gateway to the Yorkshire Dales National Park, really. So fantastic views, amazing scenery, beautiful area, and typically quite quiet. Ideal spot to kind of test the drone and have a bit of fun with it. So I grabbed my drone, grabbed my bag, grabbed my AeroPress. Speaking of coffee, I do like Nespresso, and I like my AeroPress, but lately I've been enjoying a mocha machine. I kind of go through phases. I don't know about you guys, but anyone who loves coffee, mocha pot, from what I understand, is how a lot of the Italians do it in their own households, and it just gives that really nice flavour, really deep. I quite like a deep, slightly bitter, complex flavoured coffee, where almost at the bottom of the cup you get that syrupy thickness of coffee. Love it. Anyway, the sun was out, it was a glorious day. Grabbed everything, just headed to the forest. So I flew it around a little bit, quite enjoyed the handling of it. The footage was looking good at 2.7K. It was an easy drone to handle, easy drone to fly. There's less sensors on it, but it's got the most important one, which is the altitude sensor, so it's not going to crash into the ground if you go too low. And I was having great fun. Got some great shots of the switchback as cyclists and cars were kind of going around it. And it was really thick, deep forest. Now, about this time I started to get kind of strong wind notifications, and I should probably heed a bit more warning to them. But yeah, I got some strong wind warnings and basically just thought it'd be alright. Then I noticed the drone started getting taken away, so I brought it down. I was at the top of the hill at this point when I was filming. Brought it down, got it, moved to a different location, which I thought was a bit further down the hill, about halfway down the hill, a bit more sheltered, more trees around, that kind of thing. But two things that I've learned with this Mavic Mini. Number one, they don't handle too well in any wind. They're just so small, so light. They don't have that kind of weight of resistance and power to actually kind of fight against the wind or cope a little better. And once it starts going, it's really difficult, because the second thing that I noticed is that it's Wi-Fi, so it's not kind of a radio frequency similar to kind of the Mavic Air and just basically the Mavic and the Phantoms and such. So yeah, it goes off a Wi-Fi signal, and the Wi-Fi signal is iffy at best. It says that you can go up to, I think, 2.5 to 3 miles. I would not dare take it that far. You've definitely got to be in open space. The furthest I would take mine is a mile out. So went halfway down the hill, decided to get it out again. Strong wind warning, like I say, at this stage, they just don't compute. You learn a heavy lesson. But yeah, it weren't computing. So took the drone up, I was flying it around, thought this is fantastic, getting some great shots, and it just started getting carried away. And I thought, I need to bring this back. So tried to bring it back, tried to do return to home. It just wasn't doing any of it, basically. So jumped in my car, flew out of the car parking space with my drone hanging out the window because it started to lose signal as well, which was a bit worrying. I'd completely lost signal by this point, and I'd actually stopped recording pretty stupidly, because if I'd have carried on recording, then I would have probably possibly been able to find the drone, or at least where it was. As such, I lost it. So parked my car up, got my gear on, went on to find my drone, which is a really good kind of bit of kit which comes with the software, and it records the last kind of GPS tracking point. It took me ages going around in that really deep dark brush, and I was kind of realising pretty quickly that even if I saw it, or even if I got to the exact location, it's probably going to be stuck up on a tree right at the top. Nevertheless, found the exact location, scouted around for about an hour and a half. It started to get dark, hence took the decision to come home. But basically, there was no way I was going to find it. Now I got home and I started looking at the footage, and I thought, okay, so it says where Find My Drone is on the map, it says where it should be. I know I've been there, it was in the middle of all the brush. But as I looked at the footage, I realised that it was still, as it was flying and it cut off, it was still a good 20-30 feet above the top of the tree line, and the wind was pushing it at about, I would guess, 5 or 7 miles an hour north, and only about 100 metres north the tree line actually stopped and there was fields. So I actually thought perhaps it's been pushed further along, batteries run out or whatever, it's tried to land and it's landed in the field. So I went back the next day, looked all around the field, spent probably 3 hours looking around. I thought if I can't find it then, it's gone. Basically spent a lot of time looking, even revisited the site where the Find My Drone said that it would be, still couldn't find it in the fields, and just basically accepted that it was lost. So I very much kind of then started to have the dilemma of, well, what do I do? Do I just leave it? Do I forget about it and write it off? Or do I get a new one? Sometimes it's best just to replace and move on. But I mean, I bought the Mavic Mini kind of the everyday fly pack, the Fly More combo. So I had spare 2 batteries. Obviously I had a controller because I had that with me, the carry case as well. And fundamentally I thought, well, I could sell those, make a bit of money back and lessen the impact. But I mean, you know, I'm a bloke, so basically bought another. Nevertheless, lesson learned. Yeah, I mean, guys, gals, we've got to be a little bit careful with these things, right? You know, the strong wind warning, it's there for a reason. Yeah, you live and learn. I've got to, you know, with this lockdown, it's kind of hard to get out, but I'm going to make sure that this new drone, I'm going to get out and get some more footage and enjoy using it. I mean, it's a fantastic piece of kit. I'm definitely glad that I got another one. And yeah, I'm going to use it as best I can, but I'm going to adhere to the lessons that I've learned. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, don't be scared of it. And yeah, hope to see you back soon for the next video. In the meantime, stay safe, help each other, and be kind. Peace.